I can never get tired of that intro. Hi, everyone. My name is Chuck Nicey. I am joined here with Nilo here for our next race in the losers bracket of the Hey, What a Race Spider-Man Speedrun tournament. Nilo, welcome to the show.
Thanks, and hello also to everybody watching.
Fantastic. So today is a very special race, not just because we are starting way earlier than we normally would, but also because this is going to be the very first elimination of this tournament. So the pressure is on for our two racers, Stop Jesse and Crypto. So, Jesse, putting in some fantastic work, lowering times here and there, at least in his PBs, and getting a very respectable race time of 38:30. And hopefully we can see even more improvement with this particular race. He's running only two categories, both of them on PlayStation, and is still showing tremendous promise. And as always, his favorite level is the subway, aka hugging the homies. Nilo, can you tell us a little bit about Crypto?
So, crypto is best race time is a 38:27, uh, which is faster for with respect to his PB on speedrun.com. But in the previous race, he missed a lot of time, a lot of skips. Uh, he lost a lot of time in waterfront warehouse. I think almost like 2 minutes or even more. So he is capable of doing way better than that 38, at least in theory. Then he kind of keeps his progress in secret because for Jesse, we know his PB is 35, but for Crypto, apart from the races, we don't hear him much in on the Discord. So we don't know actually his true level for for this tournament.
No, I agree. I think it's going to be much like Zoe in that a lot of the progress that we're seeing as far as crypto is concerned is going to be very much off camera and off the record, so to speak. So crypto could really surprise us with how much he's really progressed since the last time he raced. But I still would not count out Jesse just yet. Like you mentioned, crypto really struggled with with the Waterfront Warehouse, which has been a silent killer for a lot of our runners in this tournament, along with a few other levels. And honestly, just Jesse's been putting in a lot of work to get it done. So I'm really excited for this race, especially given how close their race times are. So now we're going to go to the runners themselves. We are double checking their readiness and we are about to get started. I'm going to keep an eye on our setup page to know exactly when we're going to start. Both runners need to get to the new game menu to show off the difficulty. Now, Crypto might be just a little bit behind as far as, RTA matchup. There we are. So now both runners are ready in the easy category. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1, let's go. Let's see it. Just a little bit of delay on Jesse's side. But of course, it's not about who you can see is actually ahead. It's more about what their timers say that is going to be the actual indicator of who is ahead.
Although in this case, crypto started the time a little bit late. Maybe the it didn't start exactly at the start of the run, so
Indeed. And we'll have to
there's
keep
a
that in
little
mind.
difference there.
Indeed. We'll need to keep that in mind if it ends up being a very close ending as far as that's concerned. But we have rarely seen a close finish between the two runners in any of our tournament races. So we may not have to worry about that much at all. Let's see, Crypto getting an early jump to the bank itself. Jesse not too far behind. Looks like these two were just neck and neck for the moment, but they are coming up to one of our first big hurdles of the race, can you tell us a little bit about hostage situation and what it's been doing to our runners?
Well, also the situation, the out of bounds trick can be quite punishing at times. So we'll see if they can get it first try, second try, or even more. Okay, Jesse getting the ones that you can get during the cutscene, while Crypto going for the second option where you jump over the thing there. I don't know what it is. So
Exactly.
Jesse a little bit ahead now, but still pretty close.
Indeed, Crypto going for a slightly different strat to start, but is still zooming along despite having a little bit of trouble jumping over that initial wall. Still putting them practically neck and neck, and that is fantastic. Sometimes you'll get people that have a lot of trouble on hostage situation. We've seen that in just the last few races alone.
Yeah,
But now,
that was
go ahead.
that was a very clean execution of the situation for both of them. So
Indeed,
Crypto
and
getting stuck a little bit on this door clip, so
we had to make some
loses a little
mention
bit
of
of time there.
clean execution right then, didn't we? Gotta love that commentator's curse. And that's gonna put Jesse just slightly ahead, not enough for us to change our lead indicator, but that is gonna put Jesse just slightly ahead and getting done with the bomb level ever so slightly faster in this case. But Crypto, as I say that, has already wrapped it up as well and is heading into the ending cutscene. I am really liking how close this race is so far, but there's still a lot of race left to go. We're going to be hitting our next major known roadblock just after this level.
Yeah, Jonah Jameson. We'll see if it will be gentle for both of them, or none, or for none of them, or for only one of them, which can be also interesting.
Indeed, we have to basically rely on the generosity of Jay Jonah to make sure, or maybe not generosity, but bravery of Jay Jonah, so that he does not escape into the secondary room for either of our runners, because that can be a what 10 to 15 second time loss, all depending.
Yeah, it's a 15 time loss, I guess.
Right, and that can
Crypto getting a very clean execution here in swinging between the buildings, so it's now ahead.
yes. Now Crypto is technically ahead, though. Now that they're both in the same level, we're gonna keep this tie indicator on the screen here because we can't switch it for every little push ahead because it can change in an instant. And let's see it. Oh, Crypto
Ooh.
gets a unkind Jonah, but Jesse gets a kind one, and Jesse is going to move on to the police chase before
This,
Crypto, and we can now officially say that Jesse, for the moment, is in the lead.
yeah, this definitely puts Jesse in the lead.
Indeed. Now we just have to count on clean execution. One thing I will say is that Crypto has been doing a great job of showing off clean execution as far as swinging and routing and things like that. Jesse's struggling just a little bit to make sure he can get on the right track, such as doing things like doubling back, going into targeting mode, and those little bits of stalling could be exactly what Crypto needs to pull back ahead. Jesse heading into the missile attack level. Not too much to write home about with that. It's basically the game's uh, maybe two auto scrollers. This one being
Yeah,
just a very by the books way to do it. You do it the same way every single time. There's very little variation.
yeah. The worst part is if you get shot, maybe in midair, especially because you can lose a lot of time. But it's the only way in which you can lose time, like in this level, because otherwise it's basically the same each time.
Indeed, and there can be some bad luck in this level. I won't make too much of a mention of it just yet until they're both clear because I don't want to jinx them. And there it is. Uh, if you are in the exact wrong spot and get knocked down to the floor below, that can often just mean death for Spider-Man, depending on the level he's on in that level. But we're moving on here. A little bit of a low swing for Jesse, but he's not going to let that get him down, and he's going to move straight to the next building. Crypto opting to climb to the top and then swing, hoping to save himself some crawling time. Didn't quite work out that way, and that's perfectly fine. Jesse heading over to the hollow building, so to speak. Not getting blown up, not quick enough to get blown up by the rockets or beat the rockets there.
Also,
But
Crypto getting going through the windows and not getting blown up.
gotta love that. That is absolute speed right there. Dropping a little bit made me nervous, but Crypto is through as well. Now, here comes one of our big skips. Let's see if either of them gets the scaling the girders spider fly. Let's see. Looks like Jesse's gonna go for it.
Jesse's going for it, while Crypto is going for the traditional skip or
Indeed.
traditional route.
It looks like Jesse's got it. Fantastic stuff. Jesse got
Yeah.
through. Now, Nyla, you found that skip, didn't you?
Yeah, I found it like a few months ago, so it's pretty new in the community, like as a skip.
Indeed. And since that time, the spider-fly was found originally with scaling the girders, but you managed to also find it in the tunnel crawl. I hope we get to see that from at least one of our runners going forward.
Actually, it's the reverse. I found it
Oh,
in a
really?
tunnel curl first. So I was messing around in that level to find a way to skip, finally get a skip working for that level. And it happens that the flying spider can actually work also for scale the girders. But what was my intention was finding a skip for tunnel crawl.
Ah, I see. Well, that makes sense. It's still an impressive skip to find. Crypto dropping a little bit on the girders in this last level before Rhino, uh, not doing much wonders for him in terms of catching back up to Jesse. Jesse already halfway through Rhino, just as Crypto is getting started. He'll have to count on some bad luck on Jesse's part, at least for the moment, in order to catch up.
Crypto may be in a better positioning because he's dealing way more damage with web domes.
Indeed. In fact, there's our last hit right there. Fantastic work
He
in
definitely
closing that
recovered some
gap.
time there.
Indeed. Now Jesse on to chasing Venom, onto the Venom chase. This one is a deceptively tough level, both casually and via speedrun, because there, and especially in the speedrun, because there's a lot of nuances that you have to watch out for. This is one of the few levels you can actually go too fast in.
Yeah, if you go too fast, you soft lock the level because Venom won't go in the window with you. And for what I understand, it's like the game spawns like two Venoms in the level if you trigger the cutscene while Venom is outside. So basically, at some point you will be too far away from one or the other Venom, so you lose for that reason.
Right. So you end up just basically being stuck on that girded building until you decide to restart the level because anything else is a pure failure. There's also the idea that if you go too fast heading to the girded building, you could actually uh increase your space from Venom too much and fail the level that way, even though you're going exactly where Venom would be going in that case.
Yeah,
But I
there are a
believe
lot
that's
of
more of a problem on harder difficulties.
yeah, there are a lot of ways to actually fail this level. So
There
uh,
are
y- it's not like an auto scroller or something that you can actually chill. It's kind of tedious sometimes. So
no, I agree. This level has a lot. going against the runner when they go through it. And that's not to mention even rarer occurrences such as death corners and the like. And it looks like Crypto manages to pull ahead in the Venom chase,
Yeah,
ever
he,
so
he got
slightly.
he got very good swings in the second part there, whilst Jesse opted for going over the buildings. So he actually recovered here. So he's
Indeed, it
slightly ahead.
yes, ever so slightly, Crypto pulls ahead, and that just shows the bit of what I was talking about earlier with Crypto's clean executions that are really helping him out. Let's see, Jesse's waiting for the last cycle of Venom. He's got him, but Crypto finishing off Venom a little bit quicker manages to get to the next level. We're heading into the sewers, along with all the devious pipes we could possibly want in a Spider-Man game.
Yeah. Also, these ones can sometimes be tricky because Spider-Man refuses to swing or something like that. So
Indeed, the swinging in this game in general is fairly finicky, so when you add a somewhat precise target like a pipe to swing to, that can create a lot of issues for runners who are not familiar with the game or just not practiced in these levels. But luckily, both of them seem to get through those pipes just fine and are going to take out their lizards to head on to the next section. Crypto, of course, getting his lizards first. Jesse just barely behind, keeping things pretty close, exchanging leads here and there. This is honestly a pretty exciting race.
yeah, it's pretty neck and neck. Also, I just noticed that Crypto doesn't have the armor. He didn't pick. I didn't notice that before. So
So I wonder if that's going to affect his subway. That might cause a little bit of trickiness. Ooh,
oof.
a little bit of a
Okay.
funky jump, but we're heading in. Let's see if we can get. Oh, he's a little low for God
Ve-
pipes,
very
but
late
let's see it.
swing.
Yeah,
Okay.
and that's a bit of that nuttiness that we talked about before when it comes to these pipes. Both of them forced uh to go into targeting mode, getting the atheist pipes, so to speak, or the demigod pipes rather, uh, as they head into their respective subway levels. Now, as I
Well,
understand,
still not
go
a
ahead.
fail. So still
That,
good from them.
that is true. It dying is always slower than just about anything else you could do on a level or anything else that could happen on a level. Crypto having a little bit of trouble setting up his phasing. I don't think the lizard's gonna go for it, but Jesse is also
Also,
having a bit of trouble with that.
yeah,
Both of them
sometimes
struggling with this skip. I think Jesse's gonna have to hug the homies.
yeah, sometimes the lizard, even if it's just like 1 meter away from you, just refuses to go to go under Spider-Man. So both going for hug the homies. So
Right, and they'll have to both be careful, because especially for Jesse, hugging the homies has resulted in deaths on the subway, not because of any sort of aggression by the lizards, but rather because hugging the homies, depending on your position on the subway, can cause you to phase under the subway and die, which is one of the most egregious time losses that you can experience in this game.
yeah, dying in this level it's pretty bad because it's pretty long. It's like 2 minutes and a half. It's one of the longest level in the run.
Right. And
Maybe even the longest.
it may just be, and the fact that there's no chance to speed it up, the fact that that 2 minutes and something seconds is the fastest you can go, can make it all the more heartbreaking uh whenever you have to restart it.
Yeah, in a PB situation, you it's an insta reset if you if you die here.
Oh, absolutely. This one especially versus most other ones. But What I also am concerned about is that Jesse's placement on the subway, for a little while at least, was not granting him a whole lot of web cartridges. Luckily, it looks like they're both going to wrap this up with 7 or 8 cartridges, so that's not going to be too bad. But because they had to hug the homies, they seem to miss out on some of those cartridges they could have been getting.
Yeah, they also started the level with very few cartridges, I think, so
Indeed.
that
Crypto
sure
getting
doesn't help.
Crypto, I believe, got the early subway. Jesse getting stuck with a late subway for some reason. All the
Maybe a
lizards are gone. Okay.
Okay, that
All the
was very
lizards were gone
strange.
for a while. Yeah, and yet Jesse was stuck on the train past the progression bar. That's gonna put Crypto a little further ahead in that regard as well. Probably about 5-10 seconds ahead.
Ooh,
Crypto getting a
Crypto
nice swing through the gate.
getting the swing there. Really cool.
That's very good stuff. If I were Jesse and I knew what was happening, I would be just a little scared right now about how well Crypto is doing. This is that kind of improvement that I was talking about before the race started. Crypto
Going
has
for
been
the for the
Ooh,
water one. Ooh,
wow, fantastic
amazing,
execution.
amazing.
We don't get to see that skip very often, but
I think
man,
in
it
the
worked out.
tournament only myself and Crypto were doing that. So and I stopped doing that because it's very risky. So
Indeed. It is fast, but it is risky. Although I guess fast is fast. Crypto having a little bit of trouble with his zips through tunnel crawl. I think he's going to have to wait for the second cycle. If Jesse can get some better zips, that could be his chance to pull ahead.
yeah, Crypto is definitely going to wait.
I think that's a smarter option for him, especially with those failed zips in the first half. And that's perfectly fine. Still technically ahead, although Jesse is going in for those zips. And he
No,
dies in the tunnel crawl. That is exactly what we fear each and every time we see one of these races. It is a shame to see that happen. But there could be a chance that Jesse can still pull this out. There's still plenty of chances for Jesse to hit certain skips to pull ahead. One of which being it looks like Crypto is not going for Spiderfly here in tunnel crawl. So I wonder if
yeah,
Jesse
true.
is going to attempt the same. All right.
I think
Looks like
Jesse is going for what 2 cycle tunnel crawl.
I think
Yeah,
so as
definitely.
well. Sometimes once you fail a trick twice, it's better to play it safe. So we're going to see him waiting out that cycle. Excuse me. But again, let's see if he's able to get the tunnel crawl spider fly. That
Crypto
could
going
be.
for the skip in Venom's puzzle. Let's see if he gets this.
He's got a little bit of time for it. If he can nail it, that can help secure his lead. It's looking good. And he's soft
No.
lock. He got stuck in between the gates. I shouldn't have said anything. Uh, Chuck Nicey, bad luck giver extraordinaire. I love it. And Jesse getting that
Jesse
spider
going.
fly. He's over the wall. He's through the tunnel. Ooh.
Huh? Okay.
There we go. That's a good way to save some time. Now let's see if he's going to go for the Venom's puzzle skip. Because if he can get it, this could be his chance to get real close. Okay, he's going to
No,
go for the no
he's going
skip
for the
strat.
normal route.
That's perfectly fine. That only puts him one level behind Crypto at this point, which is honestly pretty good. That helps to keep this race a little bit closer. Let's see. I think
Crypto,
Crypto
Crypto died. I
I
missed
think
that.
Crypto died. Yes. I think Crypto died either because he missed it. Thank you
Oh,
very
thank you,
much.
Spire.
Thank you, Tech. Uh That is a shame. We must have missed it. I feel bad about that because that must have been one weird death that happened. But let's keep our eyes on both of these guys. I'm basically doing a Pennywise here, trying to split my eyes to view of both. But let's see. Crypto's heading for the skip itself. Ooh, Jesse having to be very careful about his zips. All right. He's in the
Ooh,
wall. He's on the other
Crypto
side of the wall.
getting the fast
And
clip.
indeed, and there's the swing. Ooh, Jesse having a little bit of trouble phasing through this wall. Not a problem. Oh, and there's a quick clip for him. Unfortunately, he can't quite see the wall. There we go. Ooh, and he gets a zip on it. Very nice. And that's going to take him to the Venom battle. Now, I think Venom's kindness is going to determine who stays ahead or who changes leads. Crypto
Yeah,
deciding to stay right in the middle. An interesting choice.
yeah, I think it's the only one that uses the strategy, at least
And
in this tournament.
it looks like it's not paying off for him. Venom getting a good grab on him and getting a swipe on him mid-combo. That was one I was definitely struggling with when I was going through a hard mode run.
Yeah, hard mode Venom 2 can be quite tricky.
Indeed. All right. Getting the far phase on phase 2 for Jesse. Crypto
Venom,
struggling to catch up with Venom, who was being a very tricky frog to catch. Oh, but Jesse missing his
missing the combo.
yeah. And then following up with web balls, which is going to be exactly what he needs to finish off Venom. They are now even closer, I would say. Now it's going to come down to what kind of strategies they perform here in Symbiotes Infest. Looks like Crypto is going to be going for the usual clip. Jesse will be doing the same.
Also,
All right.
Crypto missing though, and it's going for the no skip route. No.
Indeed. Jesse not quite lined up. Unfortunately, the symbiote is getting in the way, and I think Jesse is going to go for no skips as well. Meaning that Crypto is going to stay ahead just a little bit, even though they're in the same level. And that's a shame. I can't blame them. That trick is hard to line up and to get quite right. It is a shame, though,
Yeah,
that neither one could
it's quite
hit it this
difficult.
time.
Yeah, it's quite difficult to do that clip. In fact, I use the other one because it feels safer.
I can understand that for sure. I always use it as a backup, but I always have trouble getting into the wall, or at least I take some time getting into that wall. So I can understand that. Crypto getting ready for elevator descent skip, and he's on the other side. It's looking very nice. And he's landed on the 4th floor. And, ooh, a little bit of sloppy movement, but he's through. Now, let's see the elevator descent skip on Jesse's side. Might be a little high up for that, but let's see it. Oh, yep,
No.
he's in the center. A little bit of bad luck with some of these skips on Jesse's part for sure. But he's still hanging in there. He's still keeping a good pace. Let's see it. All right, he's on the other side of the wall. 2, 3, and finally floor number 4. And he's
Oh,
in.
that was
He's
very
heading.
risky. It was very far away. It was very risky.
Yeah, but Jesse's a champ. He's got this. Ooh, Crypto having a little bit of trouble on the stop the presses. He's
Okay.
managed to stick to the other side of the garage door twice now, which could give Jesse just a little bit of time he needs to get into the next level and get into the lead. Crypto coming into Bugle's basement. Another notoriously hard trick to perform at this stage of the run.
Yeah, it's a pretty difficult skip at the quite the end of the run, so
Now I have to wonder if Crypto is going to
Krypton,
use the backup. No, looks like he's
no,
going
it's
for no skips. And that's perfectly fine. So we're going to get to say hi to Mike real quick. Mike the symbiote here on the 2nd floor of this level, guarding the switch ever so faithfully.
hi, Mike.
Bye, Mike. Bye, Mike.
Let's see if he gets like
Let's see if
the
he gets the
cutscene skip.
cutscene skip. And he's
No,
going to hit the symbiote, so
the
that's
symbiote
not
goes in the
looking very
way.
likely. And that's okay.
Also, Jesse failing the skip there, so both going for the no skip route.
What's lucky about this is that a lot of times failing the skip can mean death, which means a longer time to get reset. So the fact that both of these guys can actually rely on the backup is honestly nice to see, putting Jesse just a little bit, just ever so slightly behind Crypto still. So Crypto coming into the Mysterio fight. Let's see how he handles it. Looks like he's going to go for the FPS strats here, taking out the 2 chest nodules first and going for the hips. Having a little trouble hitting those
Struggling,
hip nodes.
struggling a little bit, but
Finally, we're going to get to these knees. Not quite lined up. Mysterio's a little tricky for someone who's quite technically standing still.
the problem is that it slightly moves, so it's not so easy to do that strategy. So
Indeed. Looks like Jesse
just,
having a little bit of trouble getting to the sort of safe zone for this fight. So he's going to be handling things a little more manually and honestly a little more slowly, especially if he's going to be taking down these knee nodes last. He's got to hop his way up, and now he needs to take out the chest nodes once more. Okay, Crypto not
Crypto
getting
going
Waterfront
for
Warehouse and going for the no
no
skips
skip.
route. Let's see it.
This could be a chance for Jesse to pull
Abs-
ahead.
Absolutely. Crypto probably not feeling too confident about trying the Waterfront Warehouse, or maybe feeling confident about how far he is ahead, uh, perhaps misguidedly. But we'll see if Jesse can pull this out. If Jesse can pull out the, the Waterfront Warehouse skip, that will put him ahead. And this is one of the last major skips we have before the end of the run. Ooh, with a little bit of slow setup, Jesse might only just barely eke ahead. And he's got it. Jesse is now technically ahead, but ever so slightly.
Yeah, there's a very small difference between them.
Yes, indeed. Jesse's technically in the lead, but again, this is so close. Uh, Either one of them could eke out. It could really come down to who's going to try to get a safety web cartridge leading into this. Either one
Yeah,
of them could. They're both a little
Crypto
bit low.
only 2 web cartridges, so it's pretty low there.
Indeed. So we looks like he's skipping one safety cartridge.
There's also skipping the fog. I don't remember if they both know how to do that skip.
That's fair as well. It's easy to take some of those skips for granted because they can often seem so simple and so obvious. But Crypto is someone who is only recently been learning some of these newer strats. They are an older runner who is used to older strats, so they may not have been able to pick up everything since then. Skipping over the web cartridge, Crypto either uh, either that nervous about his lead or just is not paying attention to his cartridge count. Either way, that could bite him later.
Yeah, definitely not a good idea missing the web cartridge there. Both going for the web fire though.
So it looks like
So
Crypto is at least aware of this strat and is willing to try it.
yeah, they're both doing the skipping the fog. So
But Jesse gets it off just a little bit ahead. So he is going to go into Doc Ock a little bit faster and is probably about to attempt something he's been practicing very hard at, which is the Doc Ock 1 cycle. I am excited to see if he gets it. We've had very few Doc Ock 1 cycles in this tournament. I'd be excited to see one of our newest runners here get that one cycle.
Yeah, this is the last point which you can really gain some time or lose some time.
Right. Unless uh unless you figured out the new Carnage strats, there's not a whole lot of time to be gained uh after this fight. Is he having a little trouble hitting that second button? He's keeping us all in suspense to see if he's going to get that one cycle. There's button number 3, and he's grabbing some cartridges. Crypto might be taking a safer route with Doc Ock and trying to grab some web cartridges along the way. Either that, or he's got a surprise for us that we are not too sure about.
Crypto missing the combo, so he's definitely gonna miss the one cycle, but Jesse.
And he gets it! He gets the one cycle!
They got that.
Look at that! And Jesse,
Nice. Very nice.
focused. I thought for sure he was just going to pop off, but there's no time to celebrate just yet. Now he's got to take out Carnage, which can be a pretty tough boss if you're not prepared to set him up for the stun lock. It looks like Jesse's got it, no problem whatsoever. Jesse is locked in. He is
Crypto going very low on health.
right, but I believe on easy, he's going to be going into Carnage with full health, no matter how low his health was in the previous stage. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, you're correct, but still very low health. A few more attacks by Doc Ock and he could have died there, so
I see what you mean. I see what you mean.
Risky.
Very tense for Crypto. And speaking of tense, it's coming down to this. Jesse getting into Monster Rock at a 33-20. It's looking very good for him. I am very excited.
I don't remember his PB, but I don't know if it's actually PB pace. Let me check real quick.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. I agree with our tech. This is a heck of a race. These two have stayed pretty close this entire time. Both struggling in the same places, both excelling in some of the same places in different ways. Jesse showing off his mastery of new skips. Crypto just going off with some of his masterful execution of what he already knows. It has kept this very close, and I am excited to see how it turns out. Jesse keeping it fairly clean here with Monster Rock. Looking pretty good. Not a whole lot of sticks in this case. Well, as soon as I say that he sticks to the wall, I think I'll leave that sort of talk for after the race. But going through, both of them going
Jesse
through.
is very close to his PB, so
This
unless something strange happens, it's very close to his PB.
Honestly, I would love to see one of our tournament runs end up on the speedrun leaderboard, just for the sake of yes, people are improving because of the tournament. Jesse getting a few sticks that he doesn't quite want, and that's perfectly fine. Maybe it's the suit. Maybe it's the suit. Scarlet Spidey is good luck for some, and it looks like Jesse's one of them. Crypto, one of the few runners who likes to opt for the original suit, which is interesting. We only have a few runners that bother with that. So it is interesting to see that. And I only say all this because I do not want to commentate on their actual progress, because I have notorious commentators curse.
Yeah, I like to have the normal costume because I usually reset the console or the emulator in my case before the run, so I have to put cheats and stuff. So I'm a bit lazy.
Okay, that is a 35-58 for Jesse. Jesse looking to
It's not a
be our
PB
clear
though.
winner. It is
It's
not
not
a
a PB
PB.
because his
Oh,
PB is 35.52. Very close.
6 seconds off of PB. Another very close race, or a very close time for a runner. Zoe
Yeah.
being 2 seconds off of his PB in his last race, and now Jesse being just 6 seconds off of his PB. Crypto getting done with a 36.15. I believe that is a PB. Both of these
Yeah,
guys,
that one is definitely a PB.
we can now record as having fantastic race times. Now, they have both cleared their race times by at least 2 minutes each. Fantastic work. So let's go ahead and try to bring our runners in here to talk about this fantastic race. Hi there, Jesse. How you feeling?
Hello. I thought I was gonna lose that race.
That was an absolutely incredible race from both of you. Look how close that time is. That is a 17-second difference between the two of you, and this race really showed how close that was. This was one of the most entertaining races of this entire tournament. I am very glad to have been a part of it. Uh, so let's get some initial thoughts out. Jesse, can you tell me a little bit about your thoughts for this race?
Uh, I hate tunnel crawls. They screwed me over. I thought I got it nailed down to the T, but these past two runs or these two matches with Fetty and now Crypto, I lost my edge on it. I can't do it anymore. And I lost severe time because of it. I was up ahead, what, 9 seconds? And Tunnel Crawl just sent me back. Also, can we talk about that subway? I cleared out everything, and it took 10 seconds to finish the level.
Yeah, that was very strange. Maybe like a lizard clipped out of bounds but didn't die, so or something like that. I don't know. That was
Yeah, that
very
was brutal.
strange.
I was like chilling, and then I'm like, what's going on here?
Look,
The
the
homies betrayed you.
The gentle rocking of the tracks was just too soothing for Spidey to exit too soon. So
Mm-hmm.
I can that just was really really nuts that it decided to keep you that long. That's not something we see very often. Uh let's see. Crypto's not technically on mic, but uh he is saying that he did try his best, which yeah, we can see that absolutely being only a 17-second difference. Fantastic PB by Crypto. Fantastic race time for both of you. You now both have new best race times, quite obviously, clearing your previous best by at least 2 minutes off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Fantastic work. Uh, let's get into a little bit of the specifics then. Other than other than the subway and other than tunnel crawl, is there anything that you felt particularly proud of or feel like you need to improve upon a little bit given
Uh,
this latest
I
race?
want to say from get to the bank all the way to Spider Venom, I was happy with the progression I was getting. I was 25 seconds under my usual time. And I was just like,
Ooh.
yes, let's go. I'm getting close to being under 10 or under 11, which is such a huge progression for me. Because usually it's what, like 12:30 by the time I get to Spider Venoms. And I'm looking at all the top runners. They're usually like under 11, or Spyron, for example. He's under 10 minutes by the time he beats Venom. It's just like, how the hell do I get there? And I'm happy to see progression is happening. I'm a minute away from being under 10.
That is fantastic, and that is honestly a very good goal to strive for. Is having specific goals is one step to having attainable goals. So I think that's a good mindset for you to be in. Crypto making a quick comment here uh, that he was very nervous for this race. I can
Oh no.
understand it. Oh, go ahead. Crypto being a little bit nervous for this race, which is understandable given this close time. I would definitely be nervous as well, but maybe those nerves were just the fuel he needed to push ahead with this fantastic time. Uh, Past that, let's see. That is going to knock Crypto out of the tournament, and
Sorry, Crypto.
yes, indeed. Although I will say, with such a fantastic time, I don't think there's a better note for Crypto to go out on than this, for sure. So, with that, that is going to bring Jesse uh, to face off against Mr. Monch at some point, which is very exciting. Jesse, real quick, how do you feel about that?
I'm finally going up against the one who was top dog in Peter Parker Challenge. Now I get to face him. This is what I've been waiting for. Even though he's a 33, I'll get down there. I will beat you, Mr. Monch. Meet my words.
I I am loving the energy. I am loving the sort of friendly threat that comes about from this kind of competition. But uh,
We hope
I
friendly.
yeah,
It is
I,
friendly. It is
let's
friendly.
Okay.
I
let's
don't mind
keep
getting
that
knocked
friendly.
out by Mr. Monch, if anything. But meet my words, Mr. Monch. You're going down. I'm gonna be top 8. You're gonna be top 10.
Amazing. All right. Well, with that, I think we're coming to the end of our time here. But do we have any last thoughts? Let's start with Nilo. Any last thoughts from you?
Well, this was a very, very cool match to watch. Like a 17 seconds difference. It's very, it's very close match. So
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think this is one of the
GG to
closest matches. Go ahead.
GG to both of you because those were very solid runs. So despite a few mistakes, but still pretty good.
Very nice. Then I think with that, unless Jesse, you had any final words?
Crypto, nice match. I didn't get to watch your run while I was doing mine. I was so focused on mine, but I can't believe we got another close match like the first one. Seeing us
Oh
progress,
yeah.
I'm super proud of how we progress as two speedrunners. So you getting kicked off or getting knocked off, I do feel sorry about that, but I would like to race you anytime.
All right. I'm loving the sportsmanship there. Uh Again, great race. Both of you runners, you both did fantastic jobs. But we'll go ahead and wrap this up then. Thank you for joining us here on the Spider Runs channel for the Hey, What a Race tournament. Big shout outs to Crypto again, as we should at every once a stream, that they were the ones who came up and sort of organized this tournament. Thank you for that. If you like what you see and you want to keep up to date with our next runs coming up, feel free to follow Spider Runs and be sure to hit the notifications so that you can be made aware of when our next fantastic race is, which in this case is going to be Soda versus Nilo tomorrow at 1600. So, and that is Eastern Standard Time. So, really looking forward to that. Everyone, thank you so much for joining us and have a good day and good Spidey. Bye-bye.
Bye.